Hey, welcome back. So this time what I'm looking at is getting a table together to do some metal work. This actually was a chimney cap for our cabin. That's a hunting cabin way up in north central Pennsylvania. And we brought it down here and I'm going to try to repurpose it as a metalworking table. I don't really have a metal table here in my garage where I do the metalworking. So that's what I'm trying to put together here, and I'm going to show you how I'm getting this set up. So here's what I'm working with. This is about a 2 foot by 2 foot piece of steel that's going to form the top here, and it had some legs on it, as you can see, that are just angle iron, and it was a very short setup as a table using it like this. So I took this old clothesline pole and I cut it up into 16-inch lengths here using the metal cutting bandsaw. This is an old Harbor Freight. It's from around 2002, 2003, and it's got a nice Leeson motor on it, and that's one of the reasons that I picked it up off Craigslist. That motor caught my eye, and it's run pretty well so far, and I've used it for a lot of different cuts. It's handy to have. It takes a while, but you know, I usually set it and then I go do something else and come back and check on it, and it's pretty good for that. So you can see I already got one leg extension leg already put on here, and I did this earlier with my dad's help. Once you dial this welder in, you can get some pretty decent looking welds, so I'm pretty happy with that, and I'll show you my setup and what I'm using. So the welder I'm using is this Miller-Matic 130, and this is an older model, but it definitely works well. It's a 115 volt, regular outlet that you need. You're going to need a 20 amp circuit though for that, because it definitely draws a lot of amps. And to weld thicker steel, 1/8 inch steel that I'm welding right now, I'm finding that this is a really good setting right here. I have the wire speed at 50 and I have the voltage maxed out at 4. My setup here is I'm running this with argon and CO2 mix gas. If you have a good ground on this, and you got to make sure your surfaces are all cleaned off, you have fresh steel to work with, it does a really nice job, especially with that shielding gas. It produces welds with very little slag on them, and you get a nice clean finish to it. And so on this is really an opportunity for me to just practice my welding a little bit. This is a MIG setup, if you're wondering what that is, you're not familiar with welding, and it's a wire feed. So it has a spool of wire, and you press the trigger and that wire comes out. And there's also shield gas that comes out of the nozzle here that protects this and creates an environment that is going to block it from any oxygen that would get in there and cause a bunch of problems with the weld. So in a process like this, what you need to do is get a wire wheel, and you got to clean off the paint, get it all clean surfaces, and make sure you have that ground on there tight. Fire up the machine, keep your area well ventilated, and then start running your bead. So I'm going to try to run one bead down here in that gap there, and then over here on this side, and that should be plenty to put these extension legs on. I'm going to raise this up about 10 inches, so it's more about 34 inches, which I feel will be a good height for a lot of the work I want to do on this table. I'm also going to mount a vise to this table, so I'll be able to use it for blacksmithing and for more metalwork. You can see you get a pretty quality weld here without a lot of slag. There's not much to clean off right here, and it got a lot of good penetration in the pipe and in the angle iron here that I needed to fill that gap. So I'm just going to hit this with the wire brush, clean that off a little bit, and show you what it looks like. So here's what that weld looks like, and you can see there where I stopped and then restarted. But it produces a nice clean weld for what I need here on this project. Not too bad. I do need to practice some more, and with every weld, it'll get a little easier. That's what I'm hoping, and it's a lot of fun, so I'm going to continue at it here. All right, well that'll do it for this part of the video. I think I'll stop there, and in a future video I'm going to clean up this vise and then mount this vise on here, and I'll also probably add a shelf down here at the bottom. That'll help stabilize the legs, because right now they're a little wobbly being so long and not connected to each other. I was able to clean up that one leg and make it a little bit shorter, and that helped solve the problem. One thing I didn't realize was that these legs here, one was about an 1/8 inch off compared to the rest, so that made the difference there. The vise I have here that I'm going to clean up is an old Athol, A-T-H-O-L. This is probably from the 20s or 30s. This is a really nice vise. I got this at a flea market, I think, for $30, so I'm going to clean that up and get it mounted here, and then I'll have something really solid to be working off of. So if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, also hit that bell to be notified of any future videos, especially this one coming up. And make sure that you tell others, share these kind of videos, it really helps out. Hit that thumbs up if you like this and you like content like this. I'm going to be doing a lot of different variety of videos throughout the spring and summer, so make sure to follow along on what's going on. Leave some comments, let me know what you think overall of what I did here in this video. And until next time, take care and go out and build something.